What's up, everybody? My name's Clay, and I own Running Forex, and let's get into the weekly outlook video. Man, last week was tough. I definitely took some losses, and that goes to, we'll talk about it real quick, and that goes to show why, man, sometimes technical analysis, sometimes where you think the market's going to go, it doesn't mean that's where it's going to go. And it was a great reminder for me to stick with my strategy, and where I've been the most profitable and had the most success is getting in with the trends, right? And everybody knows that, everybody hears that the trend is your friend and all that stuff. But like the thing about technical analysis, it can be great, but it can also be deceiving, whether it is you're looking for Fibonacci retracement, which I was looking at here on Aussie yen. If you go out here to say this is a 4-day time frame, from this high to the low, depending on even where you drew it, right? There's a couple different lows here, but even from that last low right there, from the last previous move, or from this high to the low, so many places where it would line up, say, oh, okay, here's 161.8%. Here's a big supply zone. Here's an order block, whatever it is that you're looking for, you can convince yourself that you're going to see it. And that is where human error comes in. And, you know, there's a lot of areas for misinterpretation of the markets for sure. And what ends up happening, you end up trying to pick tops, trying to pick bottoms. And, you know, it can end up, it's great when it works out for sure. But when it doesn't, it can be super stressful and frustrating, and end up costing money, which is what happened last week. And so this is a good example too. AU here retesting this area that was a former double top. This is daily time frame. And Ikram, shout out to you in the accelerator, man. You're sharing this chart today in prep for the markets. And you know, I do like Aussie dollar right here for the same reason though I liked Aussie yen. But the way to play these, and the way that I do it, and the way that I have the most success, and people on my team have the most success, and the traders in the accelerator group who are getting funded and who are making payouts every single week, it's by using the system of finding the trend, getting in and getting on pullbacks with the momentum of these moves, which are far more predictable, far more profitable, and will in the long run save you a lot of stress, some frustration. And so this is a good example. AU, like, instead of being like, oh hey, it's a top right here, which would be great if you shorted it and it worked out, but a much better play, at least in my opinion, is to go in here, do some multiple time frame analysis of like, okay, AU looking bullish, Aussie dollar confirming on the 1 hour, and then going in here to a shorter time frame, whether that be 30-minute, and getting in on these pullbacks, or even a 15-minute or a 5-minute if you really want a lot of action, but getting in here and say a 15-minute, boom, and then like there's really good opportunities for pullbacks within this trend. You know, you can see down here, this is where it even started, but here's a nice pullback right here. And then we went sideways for a bit. I guarantee that's during Asian range, and then a nice entry. And so this pattern played out over and over and over again. And this is my strategy, right? Using the momentum, using the indicators, using the momentum of the market to get behind the smart money instead of trying to figure out where it's going. And then, like, you know, getting it, like I said, it's great when that works out, but you know, when it doesn't, it can be like, man, so frustrating, right? As some of you all definitely experienced with me last week. So I'm really excited to recover some pips this week. Here, you know, you can see we have a Euro Aussie, and I'm specifically targeting these Euro pairs this week because no matter how you how you want to look at it, these are pretty bearish, right? Euro Aussie, Euro CAD. I mean, like, massive breakdown. So this is a great example of a cross here. this is my perfect trade setup where we're confirming multiple time frames. And the people that I work with one-on-one in my fast track program, which is the one-on-one mentoring, and also the accelerator on our live calls, will see that, hey, this is perfect setup, right? And let's see, we got our entry there, and that's a 100 pip trade right out of the gate. But the way that works is by multiple time frame analysis. So I really, really like Euro Swiss here because we're just now kind of setting up like Euro CAD. And this is the problem. Although if you think it's the end, it can always go a little bit further, which is, you know, Euro Yen or Aussie Yen. CAD Yen did a really great job of reminding me of that last week. Euro Pound, we got some really good trades off here. So I think these crosses against the euro, not the commodity crosses like NZD, CAD, Aussie. I'm not going to say that they've already run their course, but they're pretty extended. Probably time for a decent sized pullback. So, but where has it not quite panned out yet? Euro Swiss, and these, honestly, these Swiss pairs finally looking like they're turning a corner. CAD Swiss is, well, it's going in beast mode too. But if you're trading the Canadian right now, you just have to keep in mind that everything going on with Ukraine, Russia, of course, that means Russia's big exporter of oil, sanctions, and then the Canadian economy hinges on oil in a big way because it's one of their main exports. So if you are trading the CAD, just keep that in mind because it is kind of its own little microcosm there. So, but Euro Pound or Euro Swiss looking solid. I actually, you know what, dollar Swiss too, which we actually got a pretty good trade at the end of the week. Thankfully, that started to shake out a little bit more. We're looking at a pretty good reentry. So I'm going to be looking for, you know, buying Swiss dollars. In other words, shorting US dollars Swiss, shorting potentially pound Swiss. This looks like we're at the start of the move here if we're confirming across these multiple time frames. And actually, if you look here on the 4-hour, boom. Right. So we got a nice little double top form in here. Rejected too high, so we actually just filled this gap right there. Boom. So this is looking good, and that's a really bearish structure. And you know, if you go here, it looks like we're retesting the neckline of it. So it checks out. So there's the 4-hour. 1 hour looking like we're really about to come off here. And then let's see, we'll just looking for that cross, which actually just happened here in the 30-minute. Now, I'm not looking to enter it on the start of the market open. This approach is much better served on a more, not during Asian session, but when there's more movement in the market. So, but NZD Swiss, if the Swiss starts to strengthen, these are going to be ones to watch. So in other words, this is going to be on my watch list, whereas dollar Swiss, pound Swiss, Euro Swiss on my hit list for the week. We are, you know, whenever these yen pairs really decide to turn around, we're going to be looking at some really big reversals, but that could be months from now, or, you know, a few weeks at least. So, but going to be watching these, but really getting back dialed in with, you know, what works for me and what works for my experience with the people that I mentor is looking for these pullbacks when the trend's already confirmed itself and is really starting to turn around. Euro Swiss is a great example of this. So I'm going to be all over this week for sure. I think this is a really good setup, and I love the way it looks here on the 30-minute. And, you know, if you went in here to a 15-minute time frame, looks pretty decent as well. So there's some great opportunities this week. Just remember the fundamental news right now is like what's driving the market clearly, but it seems like things are starting to chill out, but it's like, you know, with the people in charge now, it's like, it's a little too quiet. What the hell is, what's going on next? So just keep that in mind. And, you know, let's have an awesome, awesome week, everybody. I appreciate you. And if you want to trade live with me, click the link below. If you just in this, I call it the rinse, wash, repeat cycle of trading. You keep getting rinsed by the markets. You try another funding challenge if that's what you're doing, because you need enough capital to trade with. So you have some success, you get rinsed off, you shoot yourself in the foot, and then you dust yourself off, wash yourself off, get all cleaned up. But then you repeat that cycle. And the thing is because you don't have the guidance, the mentorship, and, you know, the community beyond that to really help you show you the way. I heard a really great analogy. It's like, say you are going big game hunting in Alaska, and you've been saving up and you've been like, you know, reviewing everything and cleaning your rifle, and you got all the gear, and you're like, all right, I'm ready. You book the trip and you get out there, and then you just get dropped off in the middle of the woods, right? And then you're like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to get a moose out here. And then, you know, you get eaten alive by a bear. Pretty good analogy. That's what happens with people in the markets. You get prepped up. You're ready to do this 200K challenge. You're taking a test for even like $400,000 for trading capital. And then you expect to figure it out on your own. You might have some success. You might, I don't know, be able to live for a few days off some squirrels you shot or something like that. But to get that big prize, to take it back to the cabin, clean it, and be able to take it home so you can eat off of it. What do most people do that do that? They hire somebody who's been there before, somebody that knows where the big game is, where that elk is, where that moose is, and then they help show them a way to do it the way that you can take it home and really have some success to do this. So if you keep getting rinsed, washed, and repeated by the market, you know, however many trading challenges you may have purchased by now, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's okay. You don't have to keep trying to figure it out on your own though, because that's just, like I said, a losing cycle. And that cycle becomes very, very, very harder to break the more that it becomes ingrained in you. So if you want to trade live with me and get my guidance and my team, one-on-one mentoring, one-on-one coaching, and an awesome community, for sure, the best community, click the link below. Let's have an awesome week, everybody. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the live calls. Peace.